Hi, this is Marilyn with Moments with Marilyn. And I really didn't want to do this segment because this is something that is kind of not in my format, but however, it is in my format. But I think it's necessary because I have this mic to speak on different things that's going on. And one thing I do want to speak on right now is everything that's trending in the news, and which is the George Floyd incident in Minneapolis, Minnesota. First of all, I want to give condolences to his family and his friends. And I want to appeal to everybody who is hurting by this event to please be calm and let justice and the courts take place and let it play out. And for us to not continue to riot in our communities and have peaceful demonstration, which is what Dr. King and all of them fought for. So let us do it peacefully and respectfully. I understand everybody's angry. I get that because guess what? When I went on Google to do this, I did my research. And in 2015, over 100 black African American men were killed by police officers. And none of them were convicted of those murders. And it is so sad and it angered me. At the same time, my heart just bled for the families of all of those men. Over 100, that is insane and ridiculous. And I thought about when I was living in Atlanta, my son's friend, after he lost his mom, he was there by himself, and every day he was getting stopped by the police. He would call me, I'm at work, he's being stopped. And I'm like, for what? He's been stopped because they doing illegal searches of his car, looking for marijuana and all that. And I'm like, why? And I actually asked one of the police officers, I said, why you guys keep bothering him? Why you keep stopping him? What do you expect to find? And he was only 17 years old. I could not imagine how our African American men, how they feel when they walk out that door, the harassment that they endure and being murdered. Frankly honest, being murdered. I have a son, I have a nephew, and so does my fan base. You guys do too. So we have to be concerned, and at this moment we really have to support our men, because when they walk out the door, we don't know what pressures they face, the harassment or anything. And not only that, if they're gonna come home, for the simple fact, if they run into the wrong police officer, and I'm not saying that all police officers are bad. There are some good police officers out there, and I commend those good police officers out there. But right now in the news, it's terrible. They're picketing and rioting everywhere, and it's because they're angry. And they have a right to be angry. We all have a right to be angry about everything that is going on. I think about everything, even those young men who did not lose their life by law enforcement, such as Trayvon Martin. He was just walking in his neighborhood, and George Zimmerman, who was acquitted by a jury of his peers, again I say, acquitted him. And I thought about when my son was here in Florida in school, he would call me at night, late at night, and he'd be walking through a subdivision just like Trayvon Martin was. And I would tell him, I would worry so bad, and I'd be like, honey, I need you to not walk at night in subdivisions like that. I said, because you don't know what could go on. And I thank God nothing ever happened to him. But unfortunately, look what happened to that young man. And then I think about the other people. Look at Eric Gardner, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile, George Crawford III, Anton Sterling, Walter Scott, Oscar Grant, Sean Bell, and there's many, many more. And the latest one is Mr. George Floyd, who said, "I cannot breathe." And an officer who's supposed to serve and protect us kept his knee on that man's neck until he died. And it was played out on national television. So I implore everyone to continue to support our African American men. Ladies, please do that. We don't know what they're dealing with in the home, how the pressures that they're under, and what they endure to try to take care of their families and everything. There's a lot of good men out here. A lot of good men out here, and what they endure going outside that door. So in the meantime, please, I pray that you guys stop the rioting, save your community, continue to build up your community. Let's come together in unity and in peace. And in the meantime, I pray for the family of Mr. George Floyd and all of the ones who have lost their loved ones through violence of the law enforcement. And I also pray for the law enforcement community, because right now only God, and I hate to bring religion into this, but in all things I give thanks, and I know God is in control of everything that goes on, and He will see justice that's being done, whether we see it. But believe you me, He's going to deal with everybody accordingly, and that's what I believe. So I thank you for tuning in. Please continue to follow me on Moments with Marilyn on YouTube, and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get all my notifications when I post events, okay? I thank you, and thank you so much. Have a blessed evening.